What is going on, Roland Empire? I wanted to give you guys all my brief opinion, my thoughts of what were my top 10 favorite movies of 2016 so far. Seeing as we're, halfway through the year already, I'm going to give it a limitation, okay? I'm going to include every movie that was allowed from January 1st to June 30th. My number 10 was 10 Cloverfield Lane. I wasn't sure what to expect from this movie, just with the trailers, knowing that it was going to come out a month after it was released, the trailer. And what I got was more than what I bargained for. It was such a good, psychological, just thriller, what really can go on, who can you trust. The performances from John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winston just made it seem really realistic, and you don't know who you could side with. I was anxious to know what the actual answer was. Coming in at number 9 was Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I know, to many people this might not be their best movie, and there are others that admire it. I liked the movie, guys. I didn't hate it as much as everybody else. I understand it has flaws, but, I enjoyed the movie. It was just great seeing Batman and Superman being in the same screen for the first time. Just like how the Avengers had their moment. The stories, they were good. I was, entertained with them. I just felt like some of them maybe weren't necessary, or others had to be cut around. And, seeing the Ultimate Edition now, you guys know that that 3-hour cut needed to be released. And I saw the potential in the 2-hour and 30-minute one. Ben Affleck did an incredible job as Batman. Henry Cavill is just, proving that he could be a good Superman. And just what they had to go through, and how one really hated the other for just multiple reasons. Coming in at number 8 was The Jungle Book. The Jungle Book was one of the better animation turned live Disney films that we got from them. Jon Favreau promised, a movie that was going to be like no other when it comes to special effects, that it was going to look so realistic. But the fact that they only shot this in the back of a lot of Disney Studios or something like that was just incredible. And the kid that plays Mowgli, not the greatest actor, but he was good as Mowgli. I believed him. The animals he was surrounded with, like Bill Murray's Baloo, was so good. Just seeing that film after witnessing the animation when I was a little kid, I felt like I was revisiting it, but it didn't feel beat by beat from the animation, and it took some liberties, but it still felt fresh, and I had a good time just watching the film. Coming in at number 7 is Deadpool. Deadpool, just what a great commentary on superhero movies. I liked how it poked fun, and just like how we see comic book movies now, even within its own film, was very meta, and it would feel kind of ironic, what Deadpool would go with, the climax scenes and how you would deal with the villain. The villain wasn't that great, but just for what Deadpool was, he was good. I love that love relationship he had with his girlfriend. It's just type of relationship that just felt so real, and you can relate to it. Ryan Reynolds is amazing as Deadpool. He's been begging for this role. He finally got it. I can't see no one else play him. It was a Deadpool movie that just focused on the plot. Whether the plot wasn't big, it still just focused on what it accomplished. It introduced us to the character, and it just gave us a great journey for him. Number 6 is The Lobster. The Lobster movie is not for everybody. I remember people coming out angry, other people enjoying the film. It really has a certain niche, and it has just this certain demographic for audiences. But I love the movie. I was one of them that, just related to how it satirized the real world and how we see relationships, and it was great just taking that and using it for its advantage. And I loved how just the concept is crazy. Just you're sent to this hotel, and within 45 days, if you don't find a love interest, you're turned into an animal. That is just an amazing, quick synopsis of the film. And that really just sets the tone of what the whole film is. Coming in at number 5 is Midnight Special. Midnight Special was just incredible to watch. Relationship with a father and son, and these two, you really felt that care one another, and it's just so hard to see the father trying to let go from the son, and the son who didn't ask for any of this, and is just trying to live the life he can. it used all the creativity it could just to tell a wonderful story, and it really has a great emotional core just with the main actors in the film. It makes you realize, what you have, what you used to have, what you just need to appreciate, and just a good little film. Coming in at number 4, The Nice Guys. The Nice Guys was just a refreshing movie in the summer that came out with Shane Black directing it, who, didn't make the greatest Iron Man, but he did a good Shane Black film of an Iron Man movie. And then he's also coming off of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He's just great doing that comedies. And I just love Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, how they banter with one another. And, how they have to be forced to be put together. And just, it works so well. Ryan Gosling's daughter, it was like a little adult trapped in a kid's body. And I was just loving the wacky mission that they had to go through. And just the whole detective, story of it. You don't get detective movies like this nowadays. And it's just so good seeing it like set in Los Angeles in the 70s. And just have the story that was in the movie kind of was like a representation of how the movie was. It was so as like a comedy, but there was more to it. The layers were just deeper, and it was a very intellectual comedy. Coming in at number 3 is Zootopia. Zootopia, my goodness, is one of the best animations I've seen in a long time. The trailers were not doing it for me. When I went to go see this movie, I was blown away. I just can't believe the story and the topics they dealt with. It was so mature. It was an adult's animation trap it in a kid's movie. I was just amazed. And just the storytelling, just the way the animation worked, and just didn't feel like your typical kid animation film. It actually felt like a legit, just mature story. Now 1 and 2 can be really switched. These 2 movies, if you guys know me so well, you can assume what my 2 favorite movies are going to be. And I was trying to think it's so hard, but I think I'm going to go like this. But they each deserve the number 1 spot. So really coming in at number 2, which is also known as 1B, is Swiss Army Man. What original movie. It was just so crazy. It didn't take itself too seriously for what the story was. But it still delivered the commentary of just, what is out there for you for life. Than just what, is in front of you. And just trying to teach yourself that it's okay to be abnormal, that you can be who you want. Just, if that's not what you like, you can change it. You don't have to be boring. Just be yourself. And I love that, you didn't need you didn't need a big budget to tell the story. They were very creative with the very minimal locations they had. Paul Dano, Daniel Radcliffe, great performances from both of them. I love the contrast with one another. I like how they, were embracing and accepting who they were becoming, and just having a good time as the movie went on. I just love this movie so much. Now, coming in at number 1, which is also known as 1A, is Captain America Civil War. What a refreshing superhero movie. This movie took everything that was great about past comic book movies and put it into one. The airport scene is phenomenal. One of the best of all time. It was great seeing so many characters put in this film actually worked. Iron Man's story with Captain America's story, with Black Panther cutting in through, all worked so well. Zemo is one of the better characters for Marvel Studios' villains. I just loved just that ending too. It was very emotional. And this movie was a very small film trapped in a big summer blockbuster film's body. I just can't believe, what was going on here. It was absolutely amazing. The introduction of Spider-Man was perfect. You have action sequences in between storylines, which fit well for those storylines. You still had a good time. You were invested. The comedy, the drama fit well. The Russo brothers know how to take care of these properties. I can see them getting ready now for Avengers. They're familiar now with all the characters that worked in this film. And just this movie is an incredible installment to the Marvel Studios library. So let me know, guys, what your top 10 movies of the year so far were. If you want to limit them from January 1st to June 30th, also go ahead. If not, tell me the ones so far when I post this video. You guys can agree with me in my list or not. That's the beauty of it. But this is my channel, and this is what I thought. If you guys, don't really, just disagree on what I thought, just let me know your comments, what your movies were. It's understandable. We all have a subjective opinion. But now it's your time. Let me know in the comments below your top 10 favorite movies so far of 2016. And as always, roll an empire, laugh, smile, repeat.